Have you ever noticed that the more effort you put into getting someone's attention, the further they seem to drift away? Like, no matter how many texts you send, calls you make, or favors you offer, it feels like you're pushing them away instead of pulling them in. I get it. It's frustrating. But here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. The key to attraction isn't about doing more. It's about doing less. In fact, it's about doing the opposite of what you've been doing all along. The more you pull back, the more attractive you. Becoming what we're about to explore today will blow your mind. We're going to dive into why people are naturally more drawn to you when you stop trying to be noticed. Stay with me until the end, because I'll break down the 9 psychological triggers through the lens of Stoicism that can make you magnetic by simply pulling away. By the time you finish this video, your perspective on relationships, attraction, and even how you see yourself will change completely. Trust me, this is going to get real. We live in a world where everyone is constantly connected, but at the same time, we're lonelier than ever before. How many times have you seen someone obsess over getting a text back? How many times have you seen people compromise their self-worth just to be noticed, just to feel validated for a brief moment? That's where most of us are making a huge mistake. Here's the cold hard truth. We've been taught to believe that the more we give, the more we chase, and the more we're available, the more we'll be appreciated. But the exact opposite is true. Today we're going to talk about the power of distance and how stepping back is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It's a sign of value. When you stop needing people to fill your emotional gaps, you start attracting them. And today we'll go over 9 practical, actionable steps that will make you more desirable by doing less. Whether you're looking to fix a relationship, attract new ones, or simply regain your sense of self-worth, these tips are for you. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Why emotional distance instantly makes you more attractive. Let's take a moment to talk about neediness. It's a term we hear often, but few truly grasp how damaging it can be in relationships. Neediness is like a slow poison to attraction, and here's why. It sends a clear message that you rely on someone else to complete your emotional puzzle, that your happiness hinges on their presence. This doesn't feel flattering. It feels suffocating. When people sense that they're carrying the weight of your emotional well-being, their instinct is to pull away. Think about it. Have you ever felt genuinely drawn to someone who bombards you with constant texts, craves your validation, and appears to have no life outside of you? Probably not. On the flip side, emotional distance has a magnetic quality. When you're not clinging or chasing, you create an intriguing space. This space signals confidence and independence, encouraging the other person to lean in, to work a little harder to earn your attention. And that's the secret. People value what they have to earn. It's not that you stop caring, it's that you stop being dependent on someone else for your happiness. That's a fundamental shift. In a world overflowing with texts, social media notifications, and the constant buzz of communication, creating emotional distance is like a breath of fresh air. It's about giving others the room to breathe, and giving yourself the same. When you step back and prioritize your sense of self, you become naturally more desirable. This isn't about playing games or manipulating someone's emotions. It's about cherishing your independence and showing others how to cherish it too. The next time you feel the urge to text someone non-stop or immediately reply to their every message, pause. take a deep breath. Allow time to pass. Let them experience what it feels like to miss you. And here's the magic. This isn't about being unavailable. It's about being valued. Scarcity creates worth, and by holding on to your emotional space, you allow others to see and appreciate your value. In the end, this is about more than attraction. It's about self-respect and setting a standard for how you wish to be treated. The more you respect your boundaries, the more others will too. Number 2, how detachment builds unshakable confidence. Let's get real about confidence. True confidence doesn't come from compliments, likes on Instagram, or constant validation from others. It's not something external that others give you. It's something internal that you cultivate. Confidence is born from one thing: detachment from outcomes. When you can honestly say, "I'm okay whether this person likes me or not," or "I don't need this situation to play out perfectly to feel good about myself," you've unlocked the door to genuine, unshakable self-confidence. Think about the most confident people you've met. Are they the ones constantly seeking approval, fishing for compliments, or bending over backward to please everyone? Probably not. The truly confident people are those who exude a sense of inner peace, no matter what's happening around them. They've mastered the art of detachment. But let's be clear, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about people or situations. It means you're no longer emotionally dependent on how those situations unfold. Whether things work out in your favor or not, your sense of self remains intact. When you embrace detachment, something amazing happens. You shift the dynamic in any relationship or interaction. Suddenly, you're no longer the one seeking approval, and that change naturally causes others to start seeking it from you. It's a subtle yet powerful psychological shift. And the best part, this kind of confidence is durable. It doesn't crumble when plans fall apart or when someone doesn't give you the response you wanted, because it's rooted in your own self-worth, not in fleeting external validation. Start practicing detachment in small, manageable ways. For instance, if you're texting someone and they don't reply right away, resist the urge to overthink or feel anxious. Remind yourself that their response, or lack of one, has no bearing on your value as a person. By doing this regularly, you'll notice your confidence growing stronger and more stable. Here's the beauty of it. When you stop attaching your worth to external outcomes, you not only become more confident, but you also become irresistibly attractive. Why? Because people are naturally drawn to those who radiate self-assurance and independence. Confidence isn't about being loud or boastful. It's about being secure in your own skin, no matter what life throws your way. Number 3, why we crave. What we can't have, scarcity, is one of the most compelling forces in human psychology, and it's why exclusive products, limited edition releases, and high-demand events captivate us so powerfully. When something is rare, our minds instinctively assign greater value to it. Think about the last time you wanted something that was out of stock or only available in small quantities. Didn't it suddenly feel more desirable, even if at first you didn't need it that much? This principle doesn't just apply to things, it also applies to human relationships. If you're always available, always replying instantly, saying yes to every plan, and ready to drop everything at a moment's notice, you unintentionally dilute your value. People start to take your attention for granted, not because they don't care, but because constant accessibility leads to complacency. It's just human nature. When something is always available, it loses the allure of rarity and becomes ordinary. Now here's where scarcity becomes your secret weapon in relationships. By intentionally creating space and not always being available, you increase your perceived value. You become like a limited edition person, someone whose time and attention are treasures, not guarantees. Suddenly, people find themselves wondering when you'll text back, when you'll be free, or when they'll see you again. This subtle shift sparks desire, because what is rare is always pursued. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's about understanding a universal truth. People naturally value what they have to earn. When you set boundaries around your time and attention, you encourage others to appreciate you more deeply. The next time you feel pressure to always be there, always say yes. Pause. Resist the urge to be overly accessible. Don't be afraid to say no, reschedule plans, or take your time replying to messages. This isn't selfish, it's self-respect. By becoming less available, you not only protect your energy and time, but also allow others the opportunity to value you more. And here's the beautiful irony. When people start chasing your attention, their perception of your worth increases. Suddenly, you're no longer just an option, you're the priority. Here's a practical challenge to try. The next time someone invites you to hang out or sends you a text, don't respond immediately. Take a moment, maybe even a few hours, and reply on your own terms. Let them see that your time is a privilege, not a given. Watch how their attitude shifts when they realize that your attention is something worth earning. Trust me, the results might just surprise you. Number 4, the quiet power of self-sufficiency. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, self-sufficiency is becoming an increasingly rare and highly valuable quality. Most people are searching for someone to fill their emotional voids, someone to lean on, or someone to validate their worth. But here's the truth. When you don't rely on anyone to fulfill those roles, when you're genuinely happy, fulfilled, and stable on your own, that's when people are irresistibly drawn to you. Why? Because self-sufficiency radiates strength. It shows the world that you're fully capable of taking care of yourself, emotionally, mentally, and physically, and that you're not dependent on others for your happiness. This kind of independence is magnetic because it's so rare. Think about it. How often do you encounter someone who doesn't need constant reassurance, isn't seeking validation, and doesn't rely on others to feel whole? Hardly ever. That's precisely why self-sufficient individuals stand out. Their confidence and wholeness are captivating, and that makes them unforgettable. People are naturally drawn to those who are complete within themselves because it removes the pressure of constantly trying to meet someone else's emotional needs. When you're self-sufficient, you're not asking others to make you happy, and this creates healthier, more balanced relationships. The people in your life feel free to connect with you without the burden of constantly catering to your needs, which leads to deeper, more fulfilling bonds. Self-sufficiency is also deeply intertwined with confidence. When you're comfortable being alone and content with your own company, you radiate a quiet, unshakable strength that's hard to ignore. You're not afraid of solitude, and that fearlessness makes you incredibly attractive. People are drawn to your independence because you created a life that's so rich and vibrant that they naturally want to be a part of it, not because you need them, but because they're inspired by the life you've built. Focus on creating your own sense of fulfillment. Dive into your passions, whether it's mastering a new skill, pursuing a career goal, working on your fitness, or dedicating time to a hobby that brings you joy. The more energy you invest in yourself, the more attractive you become, not just to others, but to yourself. Self-sufficiency is the ultimate expression of self-respect. And when you respect yourself enough to be whole on your own, you'll naturally attract people who respect and admire you. Here's a challenge. Carve out time for productive solitude. This doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means intentionally dedicating time to self-improvement, growth, and reflection. Whether it's learning, creating, or simply reconnecting with yourself, every moment you invest in your own development makes you stronger, more confident, and more magnetic. The less you chase others, the more they'll be drawn to you. In the end, the journey to self-sufficiency isn't just about attracting others. It's about building a life so fulfilling that you become your own greatest source of happiness. Number 5. Why timing in communication sparks desire. In today's fast-paced digital world, where instant messages, real-time updates, and the pressure to respond quickly dominate our lives, the art of patience has been all but forgotten. Yet, here's a truth that might surprise you. Mastering patience in communication can make you undeniably more desirable. Why? Because waiting builds anticipation, and anticipation is the cornerstone of desire. Think about it. When someone doesn't immediately respond to your text or rush to make plans, what happens? You start to think about them more. You wonder what they're up to, why they haven't replied, and when they will. That curiosity creates emotional tension, and tension is what fuels attraction. On the flip side, if someone is always available, always responding instantly, there's no build-up, no mystery, and without mystery, excitement fades. This is where patience becomes your superpower. When you're not in a rush to reply, when you're not constantly accessible, you give people the opportunity to think about you. They begin to feel the absence of your presence, and that absence creates a longing to fill the gap. It's a subtle, yet powerful dynamic that keeps people wanting more. But let's clarify, this isn't about ignoring people or playing manipulative games. It's about being intentional with your responses and your availability. When you practice patience, you're sending a message that your time is valuable and that you're not sitting around waiting for attention. You're showing that you have a life full of purpose and activity, and that makes others want to be part of it even more. Start incorporating patience into your daily interactions. The next time someone texts you, resist the immediate urge to reply. Take a deep breath and let a few minutes, or even an hour, pass before you respond. Give them space to wonder about you, to think about what you're doing. This isn't about being rude or distant. It's about showing confidence in your own rhythm and demonstrating that you don't operate on anyone else's timeline, but your own. Here's a practical challenge to try. The next time you're texting someone, delay your reply by 15 to 30 minutes if you usually respond right away. If someone asks you to make plans, pause and say, "You'll need to check your schedule first," instead of agreeing instantly. These small shifts in timing can dramatically change the dynamic of your interactions, making you more intriguing and desirable. Remember, it's not just about creating space. It's about using that space to build anticipation. That little bit of waiting creates a spark, and that spark turns into stronger attraction. So, take your time. You're worth waiting for, and the people who value you will start to feel it too. Number 6. Why mystery amplifies attraction. In today's hyper-connected world, mystery has become an endangered quality. Social media encourages us to overshare every aspect of our lives, from what we eat to where we are, who we're with, and even our innermost thoughts. Everything is laid bare for the world to see, and we've been conditioned to believe that sharing more makes us more likable, relatable, and connected. But here's the hard truth. The more you reveal, the less intriguing you become. When everything's out in the open, there's no room for curiosity, and mystery, one of the most powerful tools in attraction, disappears. Think about it. Why do we love movies with unexpected twists or characters with hidden depths? It's the unknown that keeps us captivated, wanting more. The same principle applies to relationships. When someone can't quite figure you out, they naturally become more intrigued. They think about you more, trying to fill in the blanks. And the more they think about you, the more they're drawn to you. That's the quiet power of mystery. Now, contrast this with someone who shares every detail of their life, every thought, and every emotion. There's nothing left to discover, no layers to peel back. They become predictable, and predictability is the enemy of attraction. When people feel they know everything about you, their curiosity wanes, and with it, their desire to engage. On the other hand, when you're more selective about what you share, you create an aura of intrigue. You become the person people want to know more about. Look at influencers or celebrities who strategically share glimpses of their lives. They don't broadcast every meal, every workout, or every relationship milestone. Instead, they offer just enough to keep their audience coming back for more, curious and engaged. That same principle can apply to your personal relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional. This isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's about recognizing that not everything needs to be shared. Holding back certain aspects of your thoughts, feelings, or actions creates space for curiosity and deepens your value in the eyes of others. In a world of constant oversharing, being a bit more reserved makes you stand out. By keeping parts of your life private, you send a subtle but powerful message. Not everything about you is up for grabs, and that exclusivity makes you more desirable. Here's the key. Resist the urge to share every moment online or spill every detail in conversations. Not every experience needs to be documented, and not every thought needs to be vocalized. In fact, the less you share, the more weight and value the things you do share will carry. When people don't know everything, their imagination fills in the gaps, often in ways that work in your favor. They'll start wondering, what are they up to? Why aren't they sharing more? That curiosity becomes a magnetic force that draws people toward you. This principle extends beyond social media to real-life interactions. Think about the people in your life who share everything the moment it happens. How predictable they seem. Now think about someone who's more reserved, who only reveals things at the right time and keeps you guessing. Who are you more drawn to? It's always the person with an air of mystery, the one who leaves you wanting more. So, stop oversharing. The next time you're tempted to post every detail of your day or share everything in a conversation, pause. Hold back a little. Share enough to engage, but not so much that there's nothing left to discover. Let people wonder. Let them be curious. The less they know, the more they'll want to know. And that curiosity will make you infinitely more compelling. Number 7. The power of emotional restraint. Emotional restraint is more than a skill, it's a superpower. In a world where people are quick to express every feeling, often without considering the consequences, mastering this art sets you apart. We live in an age of instant reactions. Someone offends you, and you're ready to snap back. A comment rubs you the wrong way, and you're already typing a heated response. But here's the secret. Those who can remain in control of their emotions, especially under pressure, are perceived as stronger, more grounded, and ultimately more desirable. Think about the people in your own life. Who do you admire more? The person who reacts impulsively to every situation, getting upset over the smallest inconveniences, or the one who remains calm, composed, and collected no matter what happens? It's almost always the latter. Emotional control exudes strength, maturity, and confidence, all traits that are incredibly attractive. It shows you have an unshakable inner foundation, one that doesn't crumble under stress. Now here's the fascinating part. When you practice emotional restraint, you gain the upper hand in any situation. By not reacting emotionally, you set yourself apart. In relationships, when someone expects you to lose your temper or overreact and you respond with calmness, it shifts the dynamic entirely. It catches people off guard and makes them see you as someone who's in control, not just of your emotions, but of the situation itself. This level of self-mastery is rare, and people are naturally drawn to qualities they lack. The next time you feel anger, frustration, or even jealousy bubbling up, pause. Take a deep breath. Give yourself a moment to process before responding. Instead of letting your emotions take over, choose calmness and composure. This practice not only strengthens your self-control, but also earns you greater respect from others. Over time, you'll notice that this emotional steadiness transforms how people view you. They'll see you as a pillar of strength, someone they admire and want to be around. Number 8. Why calmness is magnetic. In today's chaotic world, where stress seems to be the default setting, calmness is a rare and precious quality. Work deadlines, financial pressures, social obligations, and the constant buzz of social media create an environment of perpetual noise. Amid this chaos, a person who radiates inner peace stands out like a beacon of stability. If you can cultivate calmness that remains unaffected by external disturbances, people will naturally gravitate toward you. You become a source of serenity in a sea of turbulence. Inner peace isn't about living a life free of challenges. It's about how you handle the storms that come your way. It's the ability to remain grounded and composed, to not let outside circumstances shake your sense of self. When you cultivate this kind of calm, you send a powerful message to the world. I am in control of my emotions, and I won't let the chaos around me dictate my state of mind. That message is magnetic. People are drawn to those who exude stability because they crave that same peace in their own lives. Think about the people you know who seem unfazed by life's challenges. They never appear flustered, even when everything around them is in disarray. Don't you feel a natural pull toward them? That's the power of calmness. It creates an undeniable allure because in a world filled with stress and anxiety, people are desperate for calm. To cultivate this inner peace, start by incorporating grounding rituals into your daily life. Meditation, journaling, or simply taking time to reflect can help you center yourself. These practices build a foundation of calm that not only benefits you, but also makes you more attractive to others. Over time, people will begin to see you as their rock, someone they can rely on for stability, no matter what life throws at them. When you master the art of staying serene in the face of adversity, you don't just improve your own well-being. You become a source of inspiration and strength for those around you. In a world that's constantly moving at a breakneck pace, your calmness becomes a rare treasure, one that others will deeply value and desire. Number 9. How creating distance sparks curiosity and deepens attraction. Here's where the magic unfolds. When you step away, whether emotionally or physically, you initiate a profound shift in your relationships. Human psychology is naturally drawn to what it can't easily have. When you're constantly available, always present, people tend to take your presence for granted. The value you bring becomes something they expect, rather than something they cherish. But the moment you create space, when you step back and allow them to experience your absence, something remarkable happens. People begin to realize how much they truly miss you. It's a fundamental truth. We often don't fully appreciate something until it's no longer within reach. This isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's about understanding the natural power of distance in relationships. When you're always there, people grow accustomed to your presence. It becomes predictable, expected. But when you create a little distance, you disrupt that rhythm. You give others a chance to reflect on the value of your presence in their lives. And here's the best part. Distance doesn't just create absence, it ignites curiosity. People start wondering where you are, what you're doing, and why you're no longer as accessible. That curiosity is incredibly powerful because it compels them to reach out, to reconnect, to pursue you. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how much more interested you become in someone who suddenly pulls away? It's universal. When someone who was once readily available becomes scarce, it sparks intrigue. You start thinking about them more, wondering why they've distanced themselves, and suddenly they occupy your thoughts in a way they didn't before. This is the psychology of scarcity at work. It's a subtle yet incredibly effective dynamic in attraction. If you feel like someone in your life, a romantic partner, a friend, or even a co-worker, has started to take you for granted, resist the urge to confront them or beg for their attention. Instead, create space. Step back, emotionally or physically. Let them feel what it's like not to have you so readily available. Allow them to miss you, to feel the weight of your absence. Here's the most critical element. When you move away, do it with confidence. Let go of the fear of losing them, because stepping back isn't about abandonment. It's about giving them the opportunity to realize your value. When you approach this with self-assurance, you position yourself in a place of power. And that's when the magic truly happens. People begin to see you in a new light, and they'll start valuing your presence more than ever. Remember, creating distance isn't about shutting people out. It's about teaching them to appreciate what you bring into their lives. So step back with purpose, knowing that the space you create can lead to stronger, more meaningful connections. Sometimes, moving away is the most powerful way to bring people closer. In a world full of noise, real power lies in stepping back. In a world where everyone is constantly striving to be seen, heard, and validated, the true power doesn't come from shouting louder or trying harder. It comes from stepping back. You may have spent most of your life believing that giving more, chasing harder, and always being available would make people appreciate you. But the truth is, Attraction doesn't work that way. When you step away, when you stop constantly being there, you create space for others to feel your absence. And it's in that space they begin to realize your true worth. This isn't about playing games or manipulating anyone's emotions. It's about understanding your value and having the confidence to let others come to you. The moment you stop needing people's approval, the moment you stop chasing validation, you become magnetic. Whether it's in your personal relationships, friendships, or professional life, the power of distance is undeniable. Giving yourself space isn't just about creating room for others to miss you. It's about reinforcing your own sense of self-worth. Think about it. When you step back, you allow others the chance to see how much your presence really means. So here's the question: are you ready to let go, step back, and become the kind of person people are naturally drawn to? Now here's where it gets interesting. I want to hear your story. Have you ever noticed how dynamics shift when you take a step back? Maybe it was a relationship where you stopped chasing, or a situation where you gave someone space, and they came back with a newfound appreciation for you. Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story could inspire someone else to make a transformative change in their life. If you found this insight valuable, there are 2 simple ways you can help this community grow and keep bringing you impactful content like this. First, hit that subscribe button. It's quick, free, and helps us reach more people who need to hear these messages. Second, if you want to take it a step further and support us more deeply, consider joining our channel membership. Both of these actions help us continue diving into these transformative topics and sharing ideas that can truly change lives. But here's the real takeaway. Don't just listen. Apply what you've learned. Start creating space in your relationships. Observe how people begin to view you differently, and watch how your confidence grows with each passing day. Over time, you'll notice a shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you feel about yourself. You'll become more powerful, more self-assured, and more in control than ever before. It starts with one simple decision: step back and trust in your worth.